What is going on, Nuggets Nation, NBA fans? I am Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to another episode of Nuggets Today. We are a little over 24 hours from the time of this recording from Game 7, and I am excited and I am nervous, and there's the most amount of mixed emotions I've ever felt going into a basketball game, besides when I watched them win the finals. The first topic that I want to cover is something that sort of brings me down a little bit, and that is the Gordon news. It's not good. Shams had posted yesterday that Gordon's doubtful. So we're losing one of our players who's been one of our best players in this playoff run, and the lack of depth on the bench sort of makes it hard for us to replace him. Now, what I want to talk about is what Denver should do. What I think Denver should do is start either Strawther or Watson. Stay away from starting Westbrook. And my breakdown of that is that what I've said in the past, Jamal Murray needs a backup, and that backup has to be Russell Westbrook. We need a fresh ball handler and fresh legs, especially if we're going to play the zone at the top of the zone, to cover their guards because they're going to be quicker. We also need the size, and it's tough with Porter Jr.'s injury. You might need Watson starting. I think that Watson's length, his defensive abilities, that's what's going to help. Strawther I like. I think Strawther could start, but I don't think it makes sense to start Strawther. Now, you have to look at who's going to be the backup power forwards, because we're going to be playing a shorter bench now. You're going to have Strawther in there. You're going to have, Russell Westbrook in there for Aaron Gordon's minutes or Payne Watson's minutes if he starts. But I wouldn't mind seeing Zeke Naji. I wouldn't mind seeing Dario Saric for a little while. Why not? Again, these guys haven't gotten many minutes in the playoffs, so they might be a little rusty, but why not give those guys the opportunity now? They need an opportunity, and we need the size. So those are the guys that Denver has to go to who has to gravitate towards, in my opinion. The toughest thing is we lose the shooting from this playoff run that Aaron Gordon has had, and the shooting that he's had this season on our bench, because nobody's that good of a shooter. His splits have been amazing, like I've covered in the past, from last season to this season, and we're losing that, which means the only shooter that we're going to have now off the bench is going to be Julian Strawther. We're not going to make up that shooting with Russ. We're not going to make up that shooting with Watson. We're not going to make up that shooting with Naji, although Naji and Watson can both shoot a little bit, but they can't shoot to the extent that Aaron Gordon can shoot, and that's what's going to hurt. We're also going to lose that defense, and I know that Watson's a good defender. It hasn't looked amazing this postseason, but he is a good defender. The thing that he's not going to make up for is the size when it comes to the build of Aaron Gordon, where he's a bigger body guarding a guy like Chet, where it makes him, sort of run down and tired because he's going against a bigger defender when it comes to the size. Not the height, obviously, but the weight, the physical appearance. Gordon brings that to the table, and that's what's going to be tough with Watson, because we were sort of using Watson as a guy to come off the bench and guard Shea, and now he's going to have to guard a guy like Chet, which I think might be able to help us, because now we're not throwing Christian Brown or Strawther on a guy like Chet, and Jokic. Again, we may run the zone now that Gordon's full, he's probably done, but I think that Watson should start. I think that he should guard Chet. I think that we should keep Brown on Shea, and when we need a break from Brown on Shea, we have Strawther off the bench, and I think it's time to see maybe Naji and Dario Saric minutes. Again, we need the size off the bench, but the next thing I want to cover, and like we were just talking about, without Aaron Gordon and with the injury of Michael Porter Jr., is Denver has to play smart while these players are off the court, or while they're down, so to speak, because, again, we've seen a little bit of a restriction in Porter Jr.'s minutes a little bit. We've seen we're going to be missing Aaron Gordon now, it looks like. And who knows, maybe he plays through it. The doubtful comment is what gets me, because you see questionable, okay, these guys are probably going to play. When you see doubtful, man, it's probably over. It's looking like he's not going to play. So while Denver's down, you cannot afford the turnovers. If Russ is going to come in the game, he cannot afford to turn the ball over. But that's my comment on he should not be playing with Murray, because Murray's going to need a break. So that's when Russ needs to come in, and Russ can't turn the ball over. I really don't want to see Jalen Pickett minutes. Not that he's terrible, but I don't think he's NBA playoff talent ready at all as a player. And again, Russ can't come in. Russ can't turn the ball over. Watson can't come in. He has to be stronger with the ball, especially on fast breaks. And you have to reset on fast breaks. If the fast break if you're not going to get there, if you don't have Gordon who's going to dunk on somebody, or Porter Jr. who's healthy who could dunk on somebody, and they're not going to finish, that's when you need to just reset and play through a guy like Jokic, or if Jokic is on the floor, play through a guy like Murray. That is the time. And again, this is a quick topic because it leads right into this next topic. And that topic is play as a team and don't get flustered. We seem to allow these runs and we get flustered. When I say play as a team, if you watch, especially last game, OKC goes on these runs or they start hot and you sort of see the bench just lackadaisical. The bench doesn't want to cheer. You know, we make a shot and you cut to the bench and these guys just look bad. They don't look good. They don't look excited. This is a playoff game. This gets you to the Western Conference Finals to play a Timberwolves team who lost Cat, who was one of their biggest factors last year. You can beat this team and you can beat the Timberwolves, but the bench needs to lift everybody up. They need to be excited. And listen, if you're not getting minutes, that sucks. It does. I'm not going to say it doesn't because I know it does. But you're not getting minutes, that sucks. But again, you have to be there because look at the injuries now. It's next man up, like I've covered before. Strother came in the game. He was the spark. He barely got minutes the last 2 games. But you saw he came in. He got hyped up, made his shots, and what happened? Everybody woke up. The bench was cheering. Jokic was cheering. You had Peyton Watson getting excited for him. That's what they need right now. That they need that to happen in order to win this game. It's going to be what everybody says, the power of friendship in the NBA winning this game because we're missing a lot of our stars. That's going to be the toughest thing. You're going to have to come in. You're going to have to be excited. You're going to have to play as a team. You're going to have to attempt to not get flustered when they go on these runs. Stay compact as a team and keep your head straight. Continue to run. It is a game of runs. It is the NBA. It's basketball. We know it's a game of runs. We know that you have to stay composed when you need to be and not allow a 20-0 run. 10-0 runs happen. We went through one. They went through one last game. So stay composed. Let those 10-0 runs happen and then come back. Again, the bench needs to be there. The bench needs to be alive. And the last thing I want to talk about is shut down the hate and thrive. You see the amount of hate that is happening right now. If you go watch, and I know the players aren't doing this because it's terrible to do, especially for your mentality. You go watch ESPN, right? And two of my main points are Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins, one, cannot pronounce Christian Brown's last name right. He's been in the league for 3 years. He won a championship, and you don't know how to say his last name. And then to come out and say, because Kobe said you were the best post defender, you can lock down Jokic? Come on. Jokic's rookie year came in off the bench, played a few minutes, put up 15 against Perkins when he was on the Pelicans. I don't want to. There's so much hate. Again, what I said last episode, Charles Barkley came out and said, well, you know, Denver needs to win this game when Shaq was hyping them up. You have to shut down that hate. You have to prove that you are able to win this game because we know that they are. And you have to put your foot forward and say, you know what? Block that out. Knicks just did it. They were able to block it out. So the Nuggets now need to do it and block it out. I know the road is a lot tougher because we're not playing a team with injuries. We are the injured team. So block that out, block out the hate, and thrive in this opportunity. Or in this environment because we know that we're able to thrive with the opportunity that's given to us right now, and it has to happen. That is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully, I'm way more excited because I am amped up for this Game 7. I really am. I'm super excited for this. Hopefully, we go out, we win tomorrow, and I am able to bring this same kind of energy, and I'm not talking about rebuilding just yet, and we go to a Western Conference Finals, and we take down Ant-Man. So let's see if we get it done. Let's see if our bench could step up. Let's see if we could stay united and win as a team. That's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.